Hello, everyone. I see people are starting to enter. So as you're entering, if you could just in the chat or Q&A, raise your hand. Let me know that you can hear me. I'd really would appreciate that. Thank you, Sheila and others. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm glad you can hear me clearly. Good. Through the chat, people can say they can hear me as well. That's awesome. Okay. All right. We'll be starting shortly. I do tend to start on time, so I'll give it one more moment and then we'll go ahead and start for those of you who did show up on time. So I want to honor that. We're going to keep the videos off so that you guys don't get distracted by looking at each other or looking at me. Please also keep your microphones muted. This webinar feature may not allow you to unmute. Hopefully it does. But if it does, please keep it muted until after the presentation is over so that the recording, for those that can't attend, the recording is not corrupted or compromised by that. Appreciate that so very much. So while we're giving it one more minute, where are you all calling from? Where are you all coming from? Are you local to me, meaning Maryland, Washington, D.C., or are you coming from some other place? So if you're outside the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area, just let me know. Post in the Q&A or the polling or wherever you can chat. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Gwen. Vanessa can hear me. Tiffany says, hey. Oh, a lot of people are calling. Oh, someone's calling from Panama. Wow, we. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Mostly from Maryland. Great, great. Always nice to see some homies. Okay. Yeah, lots of people from Maryland. Good, 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 good. That means that you all can come visit me at the store locally. Give me a big hug or high five, or fist bump. All of the above. Okay, so I'm looking at my clock now and it's 6:32. So I want to go ahead and get started so that we can move through what I hope will be, what I believe will be a very informative and content-rich presentation. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome to TrueSelf TotalHealth Life in Balance, hosted by the wonderful Smile Herb Shop. And the presentation I'm presenting today is intermittent fasting tips and tricks. Just give you a couple of housekeeping issues that we need to take care of. I'm going to answer all questions at the end. I promise you I'm going to move through this presentation pretty quickly. Not so much that you don't get the content, but I really want this to be more interactive. So be patient with your questions. Either write them down and I can call on you and I can hear you, or you can put them in the chat, or you can put them in the Q&A. But I promise if technology doesn't fail me, I'm going to get to all those questions towards the end of the presentation. Okay. So intermittent fasting, that's what you're here to talk about. So who am I and why do I do what I do? So my name is Toni St. Clair. For those of you who don't know me, I am the proud owner and CEO of TrueSelf TotalHealth. I've been affiliated with Smile Herb, I want to say for about 5 years now, teaching classes for them and doing various other special events, Take 5 with Toni live events that I do once a month there. Super, super enjoyable collaboration with them. And in that capacity and in collaborating with Smile Herb and in my function as the owner and CEO of TrueSelf TotalHealth, I am calling myself a transformational coach. And that means that I guide people to change their health and their lives. And my emphasis is on functional nutrition and personal growth or mindset. I'm a wellness consultant. So I help people separate fact from fiction so they can create their own unique blueprint for health and happiness. I'm a motivational speaker. I really, really love inspiring and encouraging people to take control of their own health. So I have some local gigs that I do. I also speak to healthcare professionals, anywhere in any place that I can spread the word and share the message, so that people can finally, I feel like they can do more health management than disease management. That's what I'm all about. Plant-based nutrition educator speaks for itself. I really want you to understand that food does not have a neutral effect on your body. It's either building you up or breaking you down. And my emphasis is on plant-based nutrition, but I help people with all types of diets to make sure that they have the diet that's right for them. Okay, and moving right along. So before we get into the disclaimer, I want to talk to you about why I decided to do this intermittent fasting workshop. I have had many clients come to me who complained of a lot of issues, from the inability to sleep, to hormonal imbalances, to inability to lose weight, blood sugar. And I found that when we start, no matter what they're eating, because we have to modify their diet to fit the symptoms, that if we didn't do a little form of intermittent fasting, it wasn't long lasting, particularly with the weight loss and the energy. And myself, even with myself, as I've gotten older, I'm almost 60 years old, I'm finding that I'm able to control my weight with intermittent fasting. And my favorite, I'll talk to you later, is the 16-8 form of intermittent fasting. But I have found that it's given me great energy. It's helped me to maintain good weight. I burn fat while I sleep. I don't exercise nearly as hard as I used to, because trying to outrun my fork. So I'm hoping to share some of that stuff with you guys today, and then you take something with you that you can implement today or right away. So here's what I am not. I'm not a licensed practitioner, physician, dietitian, nutritionist, nurse, or medical professional. So this document or this course, this workshop, is just for educational purposes only. And the second part I want you to pay attention to is that I'm not treating, diagnosing, or curing any condition or illness. So it's not intended as medical advice. So if you have a condition that requires medical attention, please don't substitute this for that. This is just for educational purposes only. Please keep yourself safe, but know that you will be getting good information here. Okay. So why are you here? I would love for you guys to let me know in the poll why you are here. These are the reasons that many of my clients have given to me, and the reason I developed this very short presentation was because when they came to me, they were frustrated with all the fad diets around the internet and trying to determine which diet is right for them by looking at what's worked for everybody else, and it just doesn't work for them. They've tried everything, and I mean everything that they knew of, but still couldn't achieve or maintain their ideal weight. They had an insatiable and seemingly uncontrollable appetite. Discipline was not the problem. There was some hormonal or nutritional imbalances that caused them to crave sugar, to crave salt. And so intermittent fasting will help with that as well. Maybe you're here because you're frustrated about your health journey and you're not achieving your wellness goals, right? Maybe you've been struggling with blood sugar imbalances or weight loss or energy issues or blood pressure or a whole bunch of other things, and that you're frustrated about that, and you're hoping that this will provide you with information. So I hope that it does. So what can you expect to learn? This is an intermittent fasting 101 class. 101, that means that you're not going to be able to go here and teach it to anybody, but you'll get the basics and hopefully enough information that will encourage you and inspire you to take action. So I'm going to talk about the do's and don'ts for intermittent fasting, again, very briefly. Intermittent fasting and workouts, because you can actually work out with intermittent fasting, and it is encouraged. Food you should eat while intermittent fasting, and how to deal with your fasted hours, because a lot of people struggle with that. And because we have so many rituals around eating. So if you're spending more time not eating, what do you do with that? And intermittent fasting for women, which is an issue that needs to be discussed to keep you safe. So what is intermittent fasting? Well, if you guys have been on the internet, you probably already know, if you've done any research, and it's very popular discussion in the health and wellness world, that intermittent fasting simply is an eating pattern where you cycle between eating and fasting. But it's not a starvation diet. Please do not confuse that for a starvation diet. You're still going to have good energy. You're still going to be able to maintain normal lifestyle. But it's not a starvation diet. And some people have to work up to this, but please know that's not the intention, is to starve you. So in a nutshell, here are some of the ways to do intermittent fasting. You can do 20 to 24-hour water fast only twice a week on non-consecutive days. You can do 16 to 18-hour fast daily, or at least 5 times a week. You can do water fasting 2 to 3 times, 2 or 3 days, a few times a month, or you can do 500 calories or less. And that means either 2 days a week or every other day of not, or not eating breakfast and lunch several days a week. So there are many ways that you can do this. And really, it depends upon your own individual lifestyle and pretty much what you can tolerate, right? Because you don't want to set yourself up for failure. And also how healthy your body is, and whether or not you are not exhibiting some of the precautionary issues that we'll talk about later on. So I decided to put my favorites. So we're going to take this broad information and we're going to create, what I've done is created what I call various diets and protocols that have worked for my clients. And this one is my favorite, the 16-8 lean gains. So this is a popular option that allows you to eat for 8 hours, not 8 hours straight, mind you. There's an 8-hour window. And then you fast for 16 hours. So you do it as often as possible, and it can be done every day of the week. I do it every day of the week. I generally will eat my first meal maybe at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then within an 8-hour window, and usually it's not really 8 hours, it's usually shorter than that. But within 5 or 6 hours, I'll eat again, but I don't eat again for 16 hours, sometimes longer than that. But it has helped me to maintain good, healthy weight. It's helped me to have good energy, and it's helped me with my my cognition. So this one works for me, but it took me a minute to get to this point. And then here's the next one that many of my clients love. It's the 5-2 diet. So it requires you to eat how you would normally eat, 5 days out of the week. And then you have 2 alternating days of the week where you fast for 24 hours. Now you can often have a low amount of calories on those fasted days, up to 500 or 600 calories. And we'll talk later on about whether or not which one of these you would be a good candidate for. But it's a matter of lifestyle, but it's also a matter of your own personal health challenges or issues. And I encourage you to make sure that you address those before you start this, and I can help you with that. And here's what I call the warrior diet. And this is one of the strictest intermittent fasting protocols because you go nearly 24 hours each time you fast. It can be done, I promise you. The basis of this plan is that you eat just once a day after fasting for nearly 24 hours. The meal would be rather large so that you could sustain that for 24 hours. I have done that when I've had meals that were calorie dense and a little heavy in the fats, healthy fats, that I've gone 24 hours because I don't eat unless I'm hungry. That's one of the things that intermittent fasting has taught me, and my body has taught me that if you eat when you're hungry, it's a lot easier to maintain good health and maintain a healthy weight because your body knows. So and of course, when you eat that heavy meal, you don't want it to be, donuts and sodas and all that. So we'll be discussing some basic rules. And then here's the eat, stop, eat 24-hour. So with this plan, you eat how you would normally eat for the majority of the week, and you fast for 24 hours at a time, 1 to 2 days a week. Now, some people will fast just 1 full day a week, while others will fast twice a week with a few days in between. You can also transition into it slowly, starting with 1 day and then increasing it to 2 when you feel comfortable with that. Again, these are protocols that you almost always have to work your way up to, unless you're really good at listening to your body and you have really good blood sugar or stable blood sugar. Most people in this society don't because we eat a lot of carbs. So that's going to automatically rule you out for doing this without easing into it. So let's talk about the health benefits of intermittent fasting based on studies. These are actual studies that my colleague and mentor, Dr. Rita Marie Lascalzo of the Institute of Nutritional Endocrinology, posted on her site. It can result in weight loss of 3 to 8% over a 3 to 24 week period. That's pretty significant. A 4 to 77% reduction of waist circumference in a 3 to 24 week period. Less muscle loss than continuous calorie restriction, right? Because you're not starving. You're just tricking the body. Fasting blood sugar, you're tricking the body to burn fat to be more efficient. Fasting blood sugar reduced 3 to 6%, while fasting insulin reduced by 20 to 31%. This is a big deal for my clients that have blood sugar imbalances. And here's the one also when my clients come in with neurotransmitter issues. It increases the levels of brain hormone called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It's related to depression and other brain problems. So you can see how intermittent fasting, based on the studies, is not just about weight loss. It really does support overall health and wellness, mental, emotional, and physical. So why wouldn't you want to do it, right? So let's talk about the weight loss. That's one of the reasons most people will pick up on intermittent fasting for that. It's the most simple way I know of to lose weight, provided you're eating a healthy diet or a diet that's right for you, because it's going to be different from person to person depending on, whether or not you're able to digest fats good, whether or not you have blood sugar issues. You would modify the diet accordingly, but you have to just pick one method and stick with it. And you eat healthy and moderately during those eating periods, and fasting during the other hours of the day. It really doesn't get easier than that. Fasting and eating. Fasting and eating. The trick is to find the diet that works for you and then introduce this protocol. That would be the most difficult part, but I'm here to help you with that. Now, we talked earlier, so it's great that that this diet or this way of eating will help you lose weight, but really what I love about it is it helps maintain good health. Weight management is a symptom of imbalances throughout the body. So the ones that I'm really most concerned about, other than weight loss, is helping with blood sugar control. So again, moving beyond helping you to lose weight or burn fat, intermittent fasting is also efficient at controlling your blood sugar levels. So when you do intermittent fasting over a prolonged period of time, and you do it the right way, again, it's the right way, you can start decreasing your insulin resistance, because that's what cells are damaged by all that insulin. And you can start balancing your blood glucose levels naturally. So you won't have those afternoon slumps, right? You also will find that you're not slipping and sliding into type 2 diabetes. So you could avoid diabetes altogether simply by doing intermittent fasting. And honestly, that's one of the protocols I work with my clients when they have blood sugar issues. And then you have to take your time with that, because usually if you have blood sugar issues, you're not, you're wanting to eat every 2 hours. So the idea is to eat in a certain way that you can sustain yourself longer and longer and longer. And that's usually with more protein and less carbs. And then eventually those cells will heal. But that's going down the rabbit hole I didn't mean to go down. So now we want to increase cognitive function. That's what intermittent fasting will do as well, right? They've done studies on intermittent fasting and how it can have a positive effect on your cognitive health, which helps to promote brain and memory health. And you can actually reduce your risk for brain-related illnesses like dementia and Alzheimer's. Really, really big in this population now. They're actually calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. So with both a healthy diet that includes some intermittent fasting, you can actually improve your cognitive function and diminish or minimize your risk of things like dementia and Alzheimer's, right? And this is all based on studies at the National Institute of Aging on the subject. So next, we want to talk about one of the other reasons that one of the benefits of intermittent fasting. Obviously, it promotes healthy eating, right? Because you're going to be eating more mindfully, more consciously, less mindlessly, and less unconsciously. How many of you out there eat just because it's 9 o'clock in the morning or noon or 5 o'clock, whether you're hungry or not? And this is not a judgment. I'm just curious. Okay, that's eating mindlessly, because you're not eating when you're hungry. You're eating out of a ritual. But when you eat in intermittent fasting, you're eating when you actually feel hungry, right? And you'll stop overeating. I promise you with this, because you won't be eating all day, all the time. And even when you do during those eating times, it's still a mindset. You'll still have to resist the urge to binge, but over time, your body won't want to do that, because a balanced body will help regulate satiation and those hormones that control appetite. Okay, so some of the other benefits, obviously, is that in addition to, managing your weight. It has heart health benefits. It lowers your cholesterol, helps with your bones. The only thing you have to do, again, you still have to have a nutrient-dense food in your body during that eating phase, so it can help you learn to eat better overall. But the most important thing here is learning what real hunger is versus false hunger. And most of my clients have never experienced hunger. I mean, not real hunger. They eat because it's 9 o'clock. They eat because at work it's 12 or 1 o'clock. They've never experienced hunger. And that's really as difficult as it may be to believe that's really where fat burning takes place, because it's a whole biological thing that takes place. It's different than starvation. The body's saying, oh, it's a little hungry now. It's letting you know there's a sensation. It knows there's no sugar to go after. So what else is it going to burn? It's going to burn fat if it's not in starvation mode, right? Okay, so then, that's when you say, okay, now it's time to eat, because you get that gentle nudge. There's a difference between that gentle, oh, I need to eat, and then, that hangry. Hangry is totally different. That's blood sugar imbalance. It's a whole bunch of other stuff too. But really, this diet does promote healthy eating habits. So what you should eat while you're intermittent fasting. What I've seen clients do, and I'm going to encourage you not to do it, is don't celebrate a fast with a binge. Don't celebrate it with eating unhealthy foods and then say, well, I'll make up for it by, fasting over again. It's really hard on the body. It's hard on the digestive system. It really minimizes your opportunity to burn fat because you oftentimes end up overeating your caloric needs. So don't overindulge, don't binge. What you should eat while intermittent fasting, one of the things that some of my clients don't do is they don't stay hydrated during the fasting window. So during the fasting window doesn't mean you fast from fluids. You drink water, you drink herbal, non-caloric things, teas. I would stay away from caffeine, like coffee. I would stay away from coffee, but they have these wonderful drinks called Kavita. I think they're 0 calorie, but you want to make sure that you're during that fasting window, you're still getting your hydration. And then you want to stick to a healthy diet. So you want to eat the same things that you would normally eat. When I say normal, assuming that it's healthy, and healthy I understand is relative. So you would want to make sure that you're eating, if you're eating meat that's lean protein, that it's doesn't have hormones or antibiotics, that you're eating plenty of fruits and vegetables, and that you're eating some healthy fats. So you want to stick to a healthy diet. So there's no magic food in this, right? The magic is in the timing. If you're eating a healthy diet, the magic is in the timing. So dealing with your fasting hours. Oh my gosh. So here's where a lot of my clients have struggled, right? Here's what you should understand. Most of your fasting, especially if you use that 16-8 rule, is going to be, it should be done primarily while you're sleeping. So if you eat 8 hours, if you sleep 8 hours a day, which you should be, some of you, that's half of your fasting hours right there, right? So, that should make it a little easier for you. So you're already going to be in a fasted state during that sleep time. So the rest of your fasted hours are before and after your bedtime hours. Sleeping through the fast is an excellent way to schedule it, right? You want to consider it if you're hungry in the mornings or in the evenings when deciding when the eating hours should be. So for me, I'm going to be hungry in the evenings than I am in the morning. So I schedule my eating hours to be in the evening, right? So someone who's starving when waking has a harder time fasting in the morning. So you can adjust your schedule to where your fast starts late in the afternoon instead of in the evening. It depends on your body and your own habits or what your body is telling you. So you want to stay busy during your fasting hours. What does that mean? Well, while you will likely get used to fasting over time, it can be hard in the beginning. When you have some of your fasting hours before or after bedtime, it makes it a little bit more difficult not to want to snack, because right, food is ritualistic for us, right? We have a lot of habits around that. However, keep in mind it won't last forever, and soon you'll be able to enjoy the food you love. An excellent way to distract yourself from thinking about the diets and counting down to the hours when you can eat. It's to stay busy. Find some hobbies, focus on work, go for a walk, read. I find that I have way more energy in my fasting hours because I'm not digesting food. I'm not making food. I'm not thinking about food. So I'm way more productive, and I take advantage of that time. Okay, so those are 2 tips: intermittent fasting and workout. So obviously, one of the benefits is that you're going to burn more fat. It helps with digestion. You have more balanced blood sugar. The challenges are that you have to do workouts before the eating phase, and you have to be careful with cardio workouts. So let's talk a little bit more about that, about doing workouts before eating. So generally speaking, you want to try to schedule your workouts for shortly before you're going to start your eating phase. Now, this is going to vary based on the type of workout you do and how long you fast. The intensity of your workouts can also make a big difference. And some people have incredibly intense workout routines like CrossFit. And you may find that you need to boost in protein and carbs prior to a workout. But if you're standard like I am, then you won't need to do that. I walk, I do yoga, I do all kinds of things, but I don't do intense workouts in the fasting phase. You want to be careful with cardio workouts. So if you decide to work out when you're fasting, be careful with your cardio workouts. Like we talked about earlier, high intensity cardio like running or HIIT can be a little hard on your body when you haven't been eating for a prolonged period. So don't schedule your cardio workout on days when you're fasting if you do the 24-hour protocols. But if you're doing a 16-8 split, then you want to do cardio after you've entered into the eating period, right? So that's the only difference. So the benefits of fasted workouts. Here's a few reasons to try and schedule your workouts during the fasted periods. You're burning more fat. Intermittent fasting is already helping you to burn more fat, right? Because your body doesn't have sugar, so it's going to burn fat. So why not increase it a little bit more? You might be able to increase how much fat you burn just by doing your workouts while you're fasting. It helps with digestion. So exercising while fasting can help with digestion issues. Many people find that eating shortly before or after workout makes it harder to digest, leading to a variety of stomach problems. So that's intermittent fasting and workouts. Now, let's talk about intermittent fasting and women, particularly important. So like other human beings, men included, we already talked about the benefits. It can increase your body's fat burn. It can increase your energy and cognitive functions. It can reduce blood pressure and cholesterol. And you can give you more balanced blood sugar. But here are the challenges for women: hormonal changes and imbalance. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time here because this is an area where you could make yourself not safe and perhaps get yourself on a slippery slope of adrenal fatigue. So while there are a few different side effects of doing intermittent fasting, the hormonal changes women sometimes experience tend to be the most worrisome. Many women can do it and not have any issues, but those who do show signs of hormonal challenges might need to consult with their doctor, or if they're doing it through me, we'll get that out of the way before you even start, to switch protocols or stop intermittent fasting altogether. Usually women who do intermittent fasting to lose weight also have eating disorders. And so maybe they haven't eaten healthy fats. So they really don't, they're already nutrient deficient. And so when you go into intermittent fasting, you're minimizing even more nutrients, particularly if you only eat one meal or 2 meals like I do. I only eat 2 meals a day, and I have to make them count. So here's the thing. Here's why the hormones get whacked up. If your body senses starvation because you're going too long without food, or you're not eating the right foods to support your hormones, you'll create an imbalance, right? So it's really essential to only stick to the number of hours you're meant to fast and not go over it by too much. I have to do that for myself as well, because sometimes if I'm working and I'm moving around a little bit and I'm into what I'm doing, I may ignore the hunger sensation because I don't get hangry anymore, right? I don't get that angry hunger. And so I have to be very careful with that. My adrenals don't like that. So I'll find sometimes I set an alarm like, oh, it's been 20 hours, I gotta eat. So here's some signs. You want to pay attention to signs of hormonal imbalance. That includes bloating or irregular periods or bleeding in the middle of your cycle and even depression. So if this is happening, talk to your doctor, but also stop the intermittent fasting, keep yourself safe. I have been able to work with many women with intermittent fasting to make sure that they avoid this because of my background and training in nutritional endocrinology. So don't let this scare you, but I'm just saying if you're going to do it on your own as a female, please make sure that you work with a professional first to make sure that you don't mess with your hormones and fool your body into going into starvation mode. Okay, so here's some other intermittent fasting cautions. If you have severe adrenal fatigue, you do not, these are non-negotiables, right? Severe adrenal fatigue. My personal story is that I tried to do, and I can do water fast. I mean, I've done 5 days, 10 days. I did a water fast when I had extreme adrenal fatigue. And here's what happened. I was lethargic. I was tired all the time, which I normally don't experience. You have periods of tiredness and energy, and my body would not shed any weight. It was holding on for dear life because of the adrenal fatigue. And because the body thought I was, that I was in danger. So yeah, if you have adrenal fatigue, and you can figure that out actually by, if you doing a self-assessment with me or blood test, we can determine whether or not you're a candidate for that. High metabolic rate, obviously, if you burn a lot of food, if you're a high metabolizer, you may not want to do this, or do it for a short term to address some health issue and then go back to your regular eating. Type 1 diabetes, neurologic instability, severe hypoglycemia, binge eating, because that's a psychological disorder. So you may overeat on those non-fasting days. I generally will work with my clients before that to make sure that if we have issues like that, then we slowly ratchet up to that. And we deal with the psychological impact of that first before we go into the intermittent eating part of it, because you'll set yourself up for failure and a lot of digestive disorders. And not losing any weight, basically. Pregnancy, because we want to make sure that you keep the little ones safe, and pre-puberty children, lots of things going on in the body. So we need to make sure that we're in a good nutritional state for that. So here's some basic tips to start intermittent fasting. I said internet fasting, intermittent fasting. Then tip number 1, pick your protocol first, then do plenty of planning. That's going to separate you from success. Pick a protocol where you'll have a chance, right? That's number 2. Don't go to extreme on the first day. It's best to start with the lesser protocols like the 16-8 before doing any 24-hour fasting, right? Start slow, and you don't have to do it every day. So just, start with 1 day. And maybe lead up to the 16 hours, maybe it's 12 hours, maybe it's 10 hours, just lead up to it. And then listen to your body. The intermittent fasting method you are using might not work for you. That's what I'm here to do, to help guide people through, because now I'm an expert because I've done it with my own body, but I've also guided other clients through it. I know, how it works, and I know how it doesn't work. So having said that, I hope that you learned a lot. Hope that you learned something here that will inspire you to not be afraid of intermittent fasting, but to know that there is a right way and a wrong way to do it, and to do something. And you can start with one small thing. And we'll talk about that on the other side, because I'd love to hear what you can commit to doing. I'm suggesting that you do a wellness consultation with me so we can make sure that your body is, your body is strong, first of all, and if it's not strong, that we develop a diet or lifestyle that works for you while you're doing the intermittent fasting, so that you can see results that you want to see faster while you're building this lifestyle without compromising your nutrient status or your mental health, right? So I'm offering that, a wellness consultation, for $127, and I have the link. I also have the link in the chat. Another one, if you want to bump it up a bit, you can do a functional health consultation that includes a blood test. Blood tests are super important for health management. So I would love to help you all with that too, using the blood test as a guide to help us know what's going on in your body and which diet is right for you and which form of intermittent fasting is right for you. and also so that I can monitor you. I'm offering a coupon code called SmileHerb40 for a $40 discount. It expires March 2nd. So if you know this is something for you, I'd say jump on it, because I only offer these discounts periodically and only for SmileHerb people, because I love how dedicated you are to your health. And then that's pretty much the end of the presentation. We have plenty of time for questions, so I'm going to start answering them. Let's see if we have any. All right. Okay, so I'm back on camera. Does anybody have any questions at all about anything I've talked about? Who out there has done intermittent fasting? Okay, good. Raised hand. All right. So it might be me not knowing how to use this. Let me see if I can get there. Okay, I'll get to the Q&A. Okay. Can you drink coffee when you aren't fasting? You can, Bridget. You can drink coffee. If you guys don't want me to use your names, please make sure that you let me know that. Oh, I just won't use names. But yeah, you can drink coffee when you aren't fasting. I wouldn't recommend the cream, the sugars, all that other heavy stuff. Because that's going to get you into, it's going to take you out of fat burning for sure. So I'm going to say answered. Answered live. Okay. All right. Let me see. Oops. Stop the share. All right. Go back to that. There we go. Let's see, any other questions? Okay, Q&A. Where am I located? I'm located in a place called Bowie, Maryland, but I do a lot of my work online. I have clients all over the world. I have clients in England. I have clients, I had a client in Cyprus. So I have clients all over the world. So most of my work is done through Zoom, through the internet, but I also do a few live clients here. Okay, so I'm going to answer live. So did that. When coming out of fasting, what mix of food should we eat, carbs versus protein? Awesome, awesome question. That's why it's really important for you to know your body. So when you're coming out of fasting, if you have blood sugar imbalances or blood sugar issues, and you're trying to cure that, protein, 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 protein. Okay. For me, because I tend to run low on blood sugar, and because my blood sugar is balanced fairly nicely, I can start with carbs. When I say carbs, I don't mean complex. I mean, I'm talking about fruits. But you have to know your body. You have to know what your body can function on. But most people out there, because a lot of us have blood sugar imbalances and don't know it, start with protein, a nice healthy protein, nice healthy fat, easy digestible fat. I hope that helped. Let me know if that didn't. Okay, and then does the functional health consultation include an assessment of hormone imbalances? Yes and no. So hormones really control your whole body, right? Galaxy, your whole body. So your endocrine system really are your hormones. But I look at specific hormones that I know most women have issues with when they are fasting. And one of them is blood sugar. I'm also looking at thyroid and adrenals. So I do look at you. And also the blood test is going to show us if you have any adrenal issues for sure. What we'll do too, if your blood sugar, if the blood test shows that it's possible that you have an adrenal issue, we'll go a little deeper. And we'll have to find out what stage you're in. Because there are different levels of adrenal fatigue, everything from, I just feel tired every once in a while, to like, I can't get out of bed. So we have to figure out, where you are on that spectrum, because we can do different things to get you healthy before doing intermittent fasting or introducing it, in that warrior way. Hope that helped. Answer live. Okay. Oh, we have more questions. Okay, cool. Guys, keep them coming. Open 10. What else do we have? Michelle, so would I recommend more herbal teas and water during fasting? Yes, during the fasting. So here's what a typical fasting period looks like for me. When I'm fasting, I do water, clean water, make sure it's not tap. I use clean water with maybe just a little squeeze of lemon, not enough to, get my body excited. And then I'll drink nettles tea or, any other type of tea that I feel my body is calling for based on, symptoms I may be feeling. And that's what I do until I eat. Yeah, water and teas. So yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Alistair, you survived brain damage. Congratulations. I know I'm actually married to a man that survived 2 brain surgeries. Does this automatically mean that I can't do intermittent fasting? Nope, it doesn't. He does it too. But what it means is we need to take a look at what's the source of your brain damage, and if it has a title. Like, is it neurological? Is it the tissue itself? So you and I would have to have a conversation in order to determine that. But I would want to keep you safe. I hope that helped. Okay, and we have more questions. You guys are really, gosh, these are great questions. Oh, you're so welcome. Someone said thank you. Michelle wants to know, do I think intermittent fasting can change your cycle, your flow? If you're starving your body, it can. But remember, this is not starvation. You're getting enough calories. What you're doing is you're spacing out the fasting and eating phase so that your body can burn fat. So it'll always have access to fat to burn, unless you're very lean or you're nutrient deficient. But it shouldn't change your cycle, again, unless you're not eating enough healthy fats or you're calorie deficient. We're not trying to restrict the calories 100%. We're just going through those fasting phases. We're reducing calories, but generally speaking, you're going to be eating nice, healthy level of calories to support good health. So I don't count calories, but if I were to count, I don't know, I'd say I get about 1,800, maybe 2,000 calories a day, but I don't count calories. That's not to say you shouldn't. You can use the chronometer. That will help you. If you had any problems before with your flow, we'd have to address that. And usually that's because most women are fat averse. They won't eat enough fat, and cholesterol is how you convert to hormones. I hope that helped. Yeah, Vanessa, you get headaches when you don't eat for a while. Yes. So that's because you have some, you possibly, because I can't diagnose, treat, or cure, it's possible that you have some blood sugar imbalances, right? So what we would do is we wouldn't start you with like a 16-hour fast. You may not be able to go more than 2 hours. So what I would suggest is taking like a 3 to 4 hour, try to stretch to a 3 to 4 hour window, and make sure that you have enough protein, because proteins and healthy fats are going to be able to extend that until we can heal your cells and make them more efficient in handling sugar and getting the sugar into the cells. There may be another reason for the headaches, but we'll have to, I can only tell if you work with me as a client. I can't, that's this is just general information. Okay. Hope that helped a little bit. So we have more questions. Is it okay for gastric bypass person with anemic concerns? Yes and no. So I'd have to do an assessment of you to see how your digestive system is running. I have a digestive assessment in both of those packages, and it will tell us what's going on from the rooter to the tutor. So from your stomach all the way to your lower intestines, to see how you digest. We'll also look at for anemic concerns. When we're doing the eating phase, we just make sure that we get your nutrient status up and make sure that you have plenty of good B vitamins, B foods with B vitamins, because anemia can come from B vitamins, lack of iron, a bunch of other sources. So we'd have to know what your source is. I tend to run anemic, and it doesn't bother me as long as during the eating phase, I'm eating to support where I know I'm likely to have nutrient deficiencies. So you still have to eat to maintain good health. You still have to feed the body what it needs, not what person A, B, or C, but what your body needs. So I hope that helped. Okay, answered live. But I would want to keep you safe, and we would start with a protocol that makes sense and then just tweak it. Can vegetarians do intermittent fasting? Heck yeah, I do. Every day, all day. And I've been doing intermittent fasting for, gosh, probably 2 to 3 years with no problem. And I'm actually a raw vegan. So yeah, you can actually. The thing, like any other fasting, although what you eat does matter, the timing is more important. And also looking at your nutrient status. So if you're doing this and you're nutrient deficient and you're not eating the right foods to support your health when you're eating, it's not going to help. It can actually be a little harmful. So, but if you're eating and your body has enough nutrients to get you through that fasting phase, again, we were not designed to eat 24/7. We were not designed to graze. We were not. And I can tell the difference with my digestion. I can tell the difference with my energy. It's just amazing. So again, I hope I answered your question. Yeah, vegetarians can definitely do this. Okay, cool. So I'm seeing thank you. So people are getting they're getting the answers. What's your take on combining keto and intermittent fasting? Great combination. Great, great, great. Actually, I am going to do another free class on plant-based keto to help people understand how to use plant-based keto with the intermittent fasting. That's like bam, bam. I mean, that will knock it out of the park for you. Yep, highly recommend it. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have open 13. So we have more. All right. Oops. Trying to get to, I think we answered them all. I'm not sure. Yep, I think we answered them all. So I'm gonna go to the chat now. If I didn't, you guys, be patient with me. So we'll now go to the chat and see what we have there. All right, so I'm gonna stop. Is it true that one should drink coffee or green tea when doing the fast? So is it true that one should or one could? There's a difference. You could, but you don't have to. I don't drink coffee, and my teas are usually not going to be caffeinated either. You can. The idea is not to drink like with a bunch of sugar and cream to take you out of fat burning mode, right? You want to make it low calorie or no calorie. How do you know if your body goes into starvation mode? Oh, there's so many signs that the body will tell you. So there's subtle and not so subtle signs. The subtle, the not so subtle sign, I guess, is when you start to notice that maybe you have ridges in your nails, or maybe that your weight is lower than you want it to be, way lower, and you can't maintain a proper weight. Or you're hangry. If you know what hangry is, then you're in starvation mode. Yeah, or that's one of the ways when you're hangry. Yeah, hunger should be like a gentle, like, oh, it's time to eat. Yeah, but hangry is definitely that. Let's see. I think I already answered the question about the post gastric bypass. So Felicia says she's a chronic undereater and meal skipper. Should I be considered intermittent fasting? And I've had a hard time losing weight as a meal skipper. Yeah. So it depends on what you're eating when you're eating. And sometimes if you're under eating, you're putting your body in starvation mode. You got to get those calories up. And so starvation is also like lack of calories. I get plenty of good calories. I don't calorie count. I know, because I work within my body, I know how much fat I need. I know how much sugar my body can handle. So I think we have to look at a couple of things. We have to look at what you're eating, right? When you're eating, making sure that you are getting enough calories and enough nutrients to support your life, not your neighbor's life. Because you're having a hard time losing weight as a meal skipper because you might also have some blood sugar issues going on too. And if you have adrenal issues too, the body's holding on to that weight because it's a chronic state right there. It feels like there's an emergency going on in the body, so it's holding on to those calories. So I think we look at your adrenals, we look at your blood sugar, and then we ease into intermittent. My feeling is it's a blood sugar issue that's causing you to resist losing weight. How does this impact MS or lupus? I would have to work with you and work with your doctor to make sure this is okay. My gut is saying, and I've worked with people that have autoimmune and chronic illnesses. When we work with the doctors and make sure you keep your doctors informed, it's okay. We just want to make sure, again, that we keep you safe and that there's nothing that we do that's counter intuitive to what the doctors are having you do. Most people are able to have enjoy a better quality of life doing intermittent fasting. Again, intermittent fasting is really just a way of eating that supports good energy, supports weight loss, supports supports your cognitive function. It helps the body to repair, because when the body is eating, it can't repair. It can't do two things at the same time. Right? So the more you give the body rest, the more it'll repair itself. Okay, I think I got all the chat done. Looking at the time to make sure that we're not going over. We got plenty of time. We got 10 more minutes. All right, let's see if we have any other questions. Someone just said thank you. Okay, so someone wants to know about the program I offer with the blood work. What I offer is called a functional health consultation, and that's when I help my clients develop the unique blueprint for them. Most of my clients are, they're fairly savvy. They've been on the internet. They come to me and I've said they know about Dr. X. They know about all these people. What they don't know is about their own bodies and what the body is telling them. And so I give them assessments and self-assessments for nutrition, self-assessments for digestion, for adrenals, for thyroid. So we'll have a good starting point to see where do we need to start working with improving your body and your nutrient status to get you where you want to go. So almost with everybody, no matter what program you do with me, we always start with digestion, because that's how you take food in your body. That's how you eliminate toxins. And so if we start there and we have a good digestive system, then sometimes the other stuff will go away, with the exception of the nutrient deficiencies. So we determine what your nutrient deficiencies are. The blood test is super important, because the blood test, if we're looking at it from a health management perspective instead of a disease management, and that's what your doctors do. So we're taking that basic blood test that your doctors give you once a year, usually in conjunction with a physical, and they've got 6 to 10 minutes with you. So all they're looking for is something to drug out or cut out, because that's what they were trained to keep you alive. They were trained to keep the body alive, not to keep it healthy. What I do is I look at it from a health management perspective, not the standard range. That's what they're looking at. The standard range is where you and a bunch of other sick people are. The optimal range is where health is. And so I also look to see what's your body trying to tell us. There are certain nutrients that the body needs to support certain organs and glands and hormone functions. And the blood test may give us a clue. For example, it may tell us that your adrenals aren't happy. So you may have a vitamin C deficiency, although it's not designed to give us 100% clarity on nutrient deficiencies. There's an actual test. It's about $400. It will give us an understanding of where you may be below therapeutic. And that, combined with the self-assessment, is usually all my clients need. And then they're, boom, within 30 days, their nutrient status is up to therapeutic, their digestive systems have improved, and most of their complaints that they come to me about, because they come to me with symptoms, they're gone. So hopefully that helped explain it. So you spend about an hour with me. We go over your blood tests and all those things, and then we develop a strategy plan that works for you. Let's see. Answer live. What else do we have? Can you take vitamins while intermittent fasting? Yep, you sure can. But most vitamins have to be taken with food. And so you want to make sure that you take them, when you're doing the eating phase, not the fasting phase, unless your vitamins can be supported with water. Most can't. Most need a little healthy fat or some food for digestion. That is if you really want to go where it wants to go. Good question, though. Wow, you guys are awesome. Woo. Okay, so I'm not a nutritionist. Sherry asked me, is nutritional counseling covered by insurance? I'm a nutrition educator and not a nutritionist. That's a licensed position. These people go to school for like 3 to 4 years, and the state of Maryland frowns on me saying that I'm a nutritionist, but I am a nutrition educator. I will tell you this, that many of my clients have been able through the flexible spending account, because of my training background and the nature of my business, they've been able to have my services covered under a flexible spending account and get reimbursed for that with no issues at all. So I hope that helped. And you'll get more support with me than you could from any nutritionist, because they don't look at your individual body, they look at a formula. Right? Let's see, someone said thank you. Everybody said thank you. I think we've got them all. Let me see. I'm interested in knowing what one thing that you found most enlightening, or that you found most interesting about this presentation, because I'm always struggling to present something that's better. Was anything missing that you'd like to talk about? And you could just do the chat, or, okay, well, while you're doing that, let's see, someone asked about using supplements. Do you use supplements? I do, and they vary. So I don't take supplements just to take supplements. So for me, I've had some difficulty converting my vitamin D with K. I don't have enough K in my gut to convert to vitamin D, because I was born, I shouldn't even be here, but I was born with all kinds of digestive issues, and my mom didn't breastfeed. So now that I'm building up my digestive system, I'm able to sustain my D a little better, but I still take it as a precaution, and I walk a lot in the sun. Let's see, what else? I also take iron supplements because I was born anemic, but my iron supplements are plant-based, and I don't take them all the time, right? So I will retest, because testing is everything for me. That's, blood tests don't lie. What other supplements that I do? It depends again upon what's going on in my body. So every 6 months I do a blood test, and I say, okay, what's my body trying to tell me? Or I do a self-assessment, because I live in my body every day. I'll know, I'll have a knowing. But the supplements to me there are some supplements people will have to take for the rest of their lives because of their genetic conditioning, or because there's something wrong in their methylation process. But most people just need supplements to get them over the hump, to get them up to therapeutic, until we figure out why the body isn't absorbing. So if it's either you're not taking enough of the nutrient in, your body's not digesting it, or the cells aren't seeing it. So those are the things we address, and then we just release our reliance on supplements. Okay. Let's see, do I prescribe? So I recommend supplements, and I actually have a dispensary that I use. They're very clean. Smile Herb is clean. I also have an online dispensary that I use if Smile Herb is unable to carry what I love, but mostly they do. Let's see, most interesting in this presentation, the benefits and description of what is and is not. Do you have any books or other resources that you recommend to learn more before proceeding? So my training, I've gotten through the Institute of Nutritional Endocrinology. So what you can do, Vanessa, is set up a free 20-minute consultation with me, so we can talk about what aspect of intermittent fasting you need more information on, and then I can direct you better. Thank you all so much. I love doing what I do. Oh my gosh. This has been amazing for me. And I will be teaching more classes. Like I said, a keto challenge. I'm actually going to teach a class on women's hormone health, because there are 8 hormones that can make your hormones go wacky. And most women only know about 1 or 2. So stay in touch with Smile Herb. Make sure you stay on their list, because I'll be teaching a lot more of those free classes in the future. Did I answer all the questions? I sincerely hope so. This is not my area of expertise here. Let's see, Q&A. I think we got everybody. All right, well, with that, I hope you guys do take advantage of the special that I have going on for a wellness consultation or functional health consultation. One is with a blood test, one is without a blood test. Even if you don't want to do intermittent fasting, it'll be a good idea to know how your digestive system is running, whether or not your organs, glands, and hormones are happy. As we age, the stomach usually, so I'm almost 60, I make sure that I get enough good zinc so my stomach can produce acid to break down minerals and proteins, because that's when you start having problems, when the stomach doesn't do that. A lot of people have problems with the small intestines. That is where your body converts the food to usable nutrients. And if you have any type of inflammation or leaky gut, you can have problems there. So I say, even if you don't want to do intermittent fasting, it's a good baseline. It's a good baseline so that you can make sure that if you're eating right, that it's right for you. And do that once or twice a year and you're good to go. Yeah. So what brand of clean supplements do I use? Oh, I have a bunch of favorites. I like anything that's food-based. So pure encapsulations, even though they're not food-based, they're very clean. I like Garden of Life because it's food-based. So the body is smart. It's designed to digest food, period, full stop. Anything else but food that your body's genetically hardwired to digest, it has to pull through all that and pull out what is food, right? Or try to use it in some way. That's why when you go to the bathroom after you've done a lot of nutrients that aren't food-based, you see a neon yellow urine and all that's because your body doesn't know what to do with it. It takes what it can. If it's come out with the food and the rest it just pees out. So you end up having very expensive urine. So that's a few of my favorites. If you're interested in going to my dispensary, just do a free 20-minute consultation with me, or just ping me, email me, and I can, I know that Smile Herb carries a lot of them. A lot of my favorites that are clean, like pure encapsulations, like I can't think of the brand's name, but I recommend based on my client's condition. So if my clients have problems with digestion, I want something that's fermented, right? So I know Smile Herb has products that have fermented nutrients that will help the body digest better. So I hope that was a long answer for a short question, but I hope that helped. Any other questions? You guys have been amazing. This is why I do what I do. Take advantage. Again, you have until March 2nd to get the $40 discount on the blood test. That doesn't mean you have to have the blood test by then. You just have to have it paid for the functional health consultation. Also, if you can't get the blood test through your doctor, I'm also part of a network of coaches and doctors and all that provide blood tests at a really reasonable cost, anywhere from $29 to like $300, depending on what pattern or what panels you need. I know Olivia has taken advantage of that, and several other people at Smile. So you could even just test individual nutrients. So for me, I just want to test iron. So through my network, I can get an iron test for $12. Right. So do work through me if you want to get a blood test as well. So you don't have to wait. You can take advantage of the special going on and get your blood test whenever it's convenient, through me or through your own provider, whichever's cheaper for you. That's all I care about. It doesn't matter who does it as long as it's a full panel. And the panel that we're looking for, honestly, like I said, is a CBC and a complete wellness panel with the vitamin D, super important, particularly if you're of color, because we need a lot of vitamin D, or a lot of us have digestive issues and we don't convert. So you want to make sure your vitamin D is up to par. You want to make sure your thyroid is functioning properly as well. Let's see, someone has a hand up. Do you want to talk, Sheila? There you go. Nope.
Yes, I'm sorry. I had a question. You said we can go to our doctor to get a blood test. What type of test do we ask for? Because I think it has to be a specific test, correct?
Yeah. So the panel it's a CBC and a complete wellness panel. Sometimes the complete wellness panel is called a complete metabolic panel, but the complete metabolic panel covers glucose, certain minerals, covers how your liver, your bones are functioning, also your stomach. So it covers a lot of the body functions, very basic. And a CBC is going to let us know if you have any critters in your body, right? And so we can address that as well, because that can sometimes impact your digestion and your health. The vitamin, and the only difference is that most CBCs and complete wellness panels, because they're basic tests, will not do, they'll do a TSH, which tests the thyroid, but it doesn't test the hormones, how your body is storing thyroid hormone or how your body is using it. And I'm also going to be teaching you guys about that too, because it's so important that thyroid, as we age, There's so many ways that it can go wonky. So you want to make sure that the thyroid itself is functioning okay, but you want to make sure that the thyroid, the hormones, that you have good storage and good usage of those hormones as well. And that's it. That was a long answer to a short question. Anything else? Okay, Sheila, so I'm going to mute you. Hopefully that worked. If you guys need to know what the panel is, I can send you a link to a document. You have to get on go to my scheduler, because if you go to my website, TrueSelf TotalHealth, there'll be a pop-up contact me. Just pick any free option that says, 15-minute free consultation. Tell me what you need. And I know, oh, we don't need a consultation, you just need information. And I will give the link to some information about the blood test, so you'll know what to ask for. Okay. Anything else? I just muted you, so I'll unmute you just to make sure you're good. Okay, so I'm gonna mute. Thank you all so very much. I promised to get you out on time. We're 5 minutes over, so I'm gonna honor the agreement to get you out on time. Thank you so very much for coming. Don't forget to take advantage of the specials. Don't forget to take advantage of me. If you have any questions, this is not your only shot at me. Look for more workshops that I'm having coming forward that'll also have some assessments, some recipes, some things that will benefit you and benefit your health and benefit your family. And with that, I'm hoping that I answered everybody's question. Yep. Okay, I think so. Oh, how recent do the blood tests need to be? I like the blood test to be no older than 90 days because the cells turn over. But if you have one, we can use it as a baseline, but it's not going to really tell us a lot about what's happening in your body now. I might go to 120, but I like 90 days. Yeah. Which blood test do we request from the doctor? Sheila, we just answered that. Okay, I think we're good to go. So again, you can, if I didn't use this properly, you still need to get to me, come see me. If anybody wants this as a PDF, I think it's also going to be available as a PDF too. And the recording will be available if you want to hear it again. Thank you all so very much. I applaud you for being so committed to your health to use your personal time in the evening. And I hope that in return, I gave you a content-rich presentation. Have a wonderful evening. Namaste.